So here we go. So with the build-up, we've already had the evening, with the Bible reading, with the lecture, talking about it and everything else. This draws your loved ones very close. And with this type of thing, it can be very, very fast. Often a one-to-one reading can take some time, not with this. But there's several mediums here already sensing things. But before we start, Carol, can I just quickly come to you? Because when I gave you those flowers, you understand a lady on the other side who taught you to cook? Do you understand that she could be quite hard on you? Yes. Yeah, well, yeah. The point is, she was quite hard, and you had to, when it was cooking, you've got to do it right, haven't you? You do it like this. No, you don't do it that way. You do it this. It had to be. Well, this evening, just after giving you the flowers, she was behind you this evening, and she is so proud of you. It's not true. She had tears in her eyes, and that wouldn't be her, would it? No, she was harder than that. I'm using the wrong words, but you understand what I'm talking about. But she was there this evening, and she's so proud with you this evening, and it absolutely made her day or evening that you got flowers for what you do for cooking, and she had a bit to do with it. Do you see what I mean? Yes. Yeah, and she just says, bless you, and that's it. So with this type of thing, it can happen quite quick. And before I let these ladies, with yourself, you know the lady next door, the yes. House, yeah. She's here this evening. She's come straight back again with you. And you understand the other lady I mentioned before, the horsey lady? Yeah. Who spoke her mind, didn't she? Mm-hmm. Yeah, but she cared for you. Yeah. You would understand in the last 6 months how you changed, how you calmed down, and how you're in a different place. Yeah. I'm not going to tell everybody about your entire life here, but you understand that. But also, that you know that young girl that was helped? Yes. How good that made you feel? It did. Mm-hmm. And because of what you've been doing, that's why they're drawing close.
I have got.
Go.
Okay. So I have a lady here. I have a feeling I know where I'm going to go, but I've just got to explain a bit about her first. She's. I was being a bit naughty during the service because I was doing other things. I was singing different words to the song. Because let's face it, the last one was a dirge. And, as lovely as the words are, it's pretty hard going. Anyway, sorry everybody, but you know what I'm like. And she was somebody who'd get up to mischief like that, even into her older age. If anyone knows the film Mame, I'm showing my age now, although I was little when that was out. It was very glamorous grandma, very flamboyant. And she loved to be like that, although a lot of her was quashed. It sounds like a funny thing to say, but she was supposed to be doing things, putting things in the right place. I do believe she was a churchgoer, and she found that boring at times because it was quite strict kind of upbringing with that. And she used to try and do her bit to escape from that kind of box, so to speak. So I get a feeling I am coming to one of the ladies in the front. I get a grandmotherly feeling here. It could even be great grandma, to be honest, because it's kind of that far back. So it might be somebody that you're not that familiar with. But I'm just going to tell you a bit more, and then I'll see who I'm being drawn to. I think actually it might even be the lady that I said hello to with your lovely hair. Okay. Did you know your grandmother? Is one of your grandmothers in spirit?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you know her well?
Yeah, both of them well. Yeah.
Right. Okay. There's one of them that was more church going as a young person. But still had a bit of rebellion in her, a bit of kind of, just like to get up a little bit of mischief, that she was kind of corralled a bit. That sounds really rude. It's not, and it's her kind of way of trying to tell me that it sounds like she came from a very hard family, as in you've got to do things by the rules. They weren't like that. They were very, very loving parents that she had. But she knew that she was supposed to follow a path, that she liked to sort of just step out a little bit and go, ha, here I am, woohoo. And she's definitely like to speak her mind, okay? Mm-hmm. She's not keen on my tattoos. She's not keen on my tattoos at all. She thinks, I can't believe I'm coming to speak to you through somebody who's got these on their arms, okay? But she, at the same time, she'd like to be that little bit different herself, okay? She's telling me that, did she die when you were quite young?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because she's saying to me, there's a lot about her that she sees in you, okay? And what she's wanting you to do at the moment is, yes, you have a path to follow, okay? And she loves your hair. You know, I went how much I said love your hair. She's saying, be more you though, okay? There are restrictions around you at the moment that you're trying to sort of fight against. Mm-hmm. She's not letting me say, I'm picking up that it could be relationship-wise, but it's also kind of work. It kind of feels like there's a lot going on. She doesn't want to tell me lots to tell you, because A, it's nobody else's business, and B, she's sort of just saying you'll get what she means. But she says, channel that inner wild, be more you, yeah? What other people have got to say about you or what other people think of you doesn't matter, yeah? You're very much loved. You've got a really good circle around you. There's just some people that are a little bit, I don't know if I'm explaining this very well. She's kind of showing me a load of like vultures kind of and nitpicking and they want to get at you, and it's because they're jealous. There's jealousy around you about the sort of person that you have the you know, that you are, and in your inner you is amazing, and you're so helpful and so loving to other people. Am I making sense here, sweetie?
Mm-hmm.
She's just saying, just knock it out the park here, almost like come out of that shell of you and just say, do you know what? To all those haters, that sounds really, really like a funny thing to say, but to all those people that are giving me grief, I'm going to be proud of who I am, and I'm going to walk that path. And I'm going to, thank you, Granny. I'm going to actually walk that path. I'm going to be more you. I'm going to be in charge of my own destiny around all of this. And I'm not going to listen anymore to what anyone's going to try and put me down. Right? Making sense, my lovely.
Yeah, no, it is actually interesting.
Yeah. She's really cool. I love her. Because she says, in church, she'd have to be really good. And then she'd start swinging her legs. And then she'd think, this is really boring. And then she'd do something. And then she'd get like a look from her dad. And she'd be like, oh, you know. But everybody thought she was like very kind of like, you know, on an even keel and keeping along, but actually she had real moments of sparks of being. And she says, speak your mind. What you've got to say is valid.
Thank you.
Okay.
So how are you sensing it?
You make me feel very hot. Well, earlier on, when I was driving here, I saw this quite flamboyant lady that kept on sort of sitting very still and then going whoop and whoop,
Right.
and then I was sitting there singing the hymn, and I did sing different words.
So with this type of thing, when you're doing it, it can come in different ways.
Yeah.
And often with the medium, before you come to the church, you can start sensing someone, have no idea who it is and who you're going to, but you start sensing it. Sometimes it comes immediately when you're in the church.
And she was quite impatient as well, because she wanted things to hurry up so she could speak. But she wasn't rude, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Just trying to explain to people, you get people who are very impatient who want to come through. Other people who are very, very sort of shy, don't want to come through, almost the way is cleared for them to come through. But when they have an opportunity, like it just took place there, they want it to come through, and that's what's taking place. But there's all sorts of people here at the moment.
Right. I have a gentleman. He is quite tall. If he wasn't 6 foot, he wasn't far shorter than that. As he draws close, he's making me aware he had bushy eyebrows for most of his life. They were dark, you know, when he was a younger gentleman. He was always very good looking. You know, he never lost his looks, and he became more distinguished as he got older. Can't say that much about his personality. He got a bit gruffer as he went along. He's making me aware, though, of he wore glasses, but they had a darkish frame, definitely across the top. And as I say grandfather, father, there wasn't much similarities because the men were all very good looking in the family. The coughing, he definitely, when he passed, there was a lot of coughing. He had a condition which made him cough a lot. I'm not sure. May I come to the lady in the front with the pink sweater? Would you understand this?
Some of it maybe, yeah.
Some of it, okay. The lady, the third row back, lady on the edge, can you understand some of this? If not all of it?
Not particularly.
Right. May I work with you at the front? We carry on a bit, please. Thank you. This gentleman had lots of patience and time. He knew you and you knew him. You didn't know him most of your life because he passed before.
Okay.
Right? You can understand that?
Yeah.
Right. Can you understand a chest condition or with coughing, a condition around you recently? Right, I am with you, thank you. You're right for me to continue working with you. And as you've been thinking about it, because you've had, we won't do your business from here, as you know, as you've been thinking about it, he has come into your mind and you have had a concern. Does he still suffer the other side?
Yeah.
Can you understand that? He wants to reassure you he doesn't, there's no suffering. That has all gone, that has moved on, that has passed. Because although you know it, with the thoughts and things that have come around you recently, there has been that niggling doubt. You know that little one that just, it's like a bee at times. It just buzzes in and buzzes out again. And as he wants to reassure you, there was lots of love from him within the family as well. There's an awful amount of love, support. He wasn't always demonstrative, but there is happy memories of him around you. Okay. Can you also understand with him comes a lady who she would also be very, she wouldn't leave the house without looking good.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, because she's making me aware that when you presented yourself to the world, doesn't matter what shape and size you were, because I feel that she expanded and contracted and different things as life happens. And she's saying, you always make yourself look the best that you can. And she wants to bring that memory back because she says, you do. And I feel that she would call you my dear, or there's some,
Yeah.
okay. And she's just letting you know that she's around you and they're bringing you lots of love and support as you're dealing with what you're dealing with now. She's saying this too will pass. Okay, so just carry on doing what you know to do, carry on along that path, and it will all come good. And I leave them with your love. I leave you with their love, apologies.
So for people to understand, because we're standing up here as mediums just passing on this message, how did you sense it? Are you hearing it? Are you seeing it? Are you sensing a person near you?
Well, from when I started getting ready to come, I haven't stopped coughing all the time. So I knew that was that. Well, he made me feel his height and his stature and his quietness, but also his presence. He definitely made me feel his eyebrows and the look he gave me. And the lady, she made me feel like, and she's quite right, yes, I probably should have worn one of those spandex or whatever you call hold your those kind of things. But she says, you know, it's fine as long as you're comfortable, but you present yourself in the best position is how, because she would like the best for people in the best light. It was just her way of being.
So you're sensing.
I'm sensing and feeling
sensing
it.
Yeah, and this is what most mediums do. But every medium, it works slightly different with each medium. So you can listen to one medium how it works. And often in a circle situation, you'll sense someone in a corner of a room. One person may sense the energy, one may sense the character, another one sense of power. So it varies with each medium. And there's lots of people coming in here at the moment. But a lot of it is quite fast, what's going on. So many different people. You would understand someone looks similar to you on the other side?
Yeah.
And similar sort of character?
Yeah.
They're sitting right next to you. They've been there for some time now. But you won't have a problem with this, will you?
No.
No. But she's sitting there and she had a problem with this and you've got a problem with this as well. The people that don't help anybody are selfish. You irritate you, don't they? Yeah, and it would have really irritated her.
Yeah.
So she's just putting her arm around you and she's like she said, I'm comforting you. But you understand that to most people, most of the time, you come across as someone who's strong, don't you?
Yeah.
This is your image. It's not 100% strong though, is it?
No.
But by God, you're never going to show weakness, are you?
No.
And that was her as well, wasn't it?
Mm.
She's got her arm around you and she's just congratulating you. Well done. It's as simple as that she wants to do. The other thing, I think one of these ladies is going to give you a message test. Your dad is here. And I think your dad was here earlier on when you were mentioning someone as well. And this would be unusual, wouldn't it?
Yes, he's not.
No, it's just absolutely not whatever. But his mind was open to learning things, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, and you would understand his humility, wouldn't you?
Yes.
Yeah, he's just backed off, and I think he's going to come back again. But he just wants you to know, I am here. It's almost like he's telling you he's here, so you open up a little bit, so the message comes through, more of the message comes through.
So I've just got a very quick message from somebody that, as soon as I mention the names of the people, they'll know who it is. Lisa, Malcolm and Eve, your girl's here. And she's just saying that she's fully aware that you talk about her and think about her a lot over Christmas. That's just a natural thing. And she said she enjoyed it. She said there's lots of laughter, lots of chat, a few too many glasses of whatever, but she said she loves it all. And she says, Dad, you've been worrying a lot about the weather and whether her grave area will be okay, and because when it gets icy you start to fret that things are going slightly the way of the pear. You know what she's like? She's got quite a humour on her and quite a way of talking, so I won't swear, but she just makes me laugh so much. But she's saying, don't worry Dad, all's cool. She knows you went to see her. She loves that you go see her. She says, Mum, you know she's always around you. She knows you don't go and see her, but she knows that you always think of her. And when your dad goes, you go with him in spirit, so to speak. Just thanks for tidying things up. She said, honestly, you know, she knows when you do it. She knows you chat away to her as well while you're doing it as well. Chat, 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 updates, chat, 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 what you're up to, how you doing, girl, all of this kind of thing. Lise, did you go with your dad the last time we went? Yeah. Did you put something on the grave? Yes. Okay. And she's just saying thank you. Have you recently put a teddy bear on the grave, like a little tiny, like a little, either statue or something? There's something that you put on. It could be
There was a
maybe.
statue, but
Yeah.
that wasn't recent.
It wasn't recent, but she really likes it. Really likes it. She says ever so pretty. And then you light candle, don't you, when you go and see her as well? She's saying there's something about a candle. It might have been too wet at the minute. Is that what? Yeah. Okay. But she sees it all and she loves it all, and she just says she's sending so much love to you. And yeah, well, I won't swear. She says, you know, she loves you loads.
And how you're sensing it, but with this lady, it's very easy to sense.
Oh
it,
yeah,
isn't it?
absolutely, because she's always around the three of them,
Always, and it's so
and she
easy
makes me
for her
laugh
being
as well.
here.
She sort of steps in and she goes, "Here I am again, sir," and she just makes me laugh. And she's got such a humour and she's got such a vocabulary on her. Let's just leave it like that. But she just makes my heart glad. So yeah, but she sees what you're doing. Absolutely sees what you're doing. She says, "Thanks, Dad."
Right, Arlene, can I come to you, please? Yes.
Oh,
May I go to Arlene behind you, please?
No, Arlene.
Arlene. I have a gentleman stepping close to you. He's giving me around the age of 30, so there's something with a 30 about this gentleman. If he's not a brother, it's a brother-like feeling, and I'm hearing the name of Johnny. Can you understand any of that, please? Not the name, right, but you can understand the rest of it? Yeah. Right, okay. Can you understand, with this gentleman, as he draws close to you, that there is, I think the words would be then, there's a song or something, I'm not too familiar. Johnny be good, Johnny be lucky. Okay, is there a song?
Yeah.
See, I'm hopeless. So there's where the Johnny sits. Right, so it's within that those would also relate to this gentleman. Okay. He's also saying that, he's also telling me, making me aware that you have had thoughts about him recently.
yeah.
Okay, and that he's nothing wrong, it's just that he's coming close, recognising that you've been thinking about him, and he's coming to say also thank you, and let you know, and bring you peace as well. But there's also, I can hear music as well, so I know that there's music association with you and this gentleman. Can you understand that, please? Thank you. He wants to speak quickly. He was also a gentleman that was like here today, gone tomorrow. Whatever he did, he was very quick. Okay. And he's popping in to say hello, let you know that he's hearing you. He hears that you speak with him and vice versa, and you hear from him as well. You also sense things from this gentleman. And as he's acknowledging the communication between the two of you, he's just saying thank you, he's moved on, and it will carry on, but let you know that he has heard you and you've heard him. Thank you.
So again, because people don't see a medium up here chatting away and they think they've got the gift and that's it. But it is so difficult to do with this sort of thing. So you're passing on that message, but how do you sense it, to explain to people? How are you sensing it? Question and a half, isn't it?
Right, how I sense it, I kept hearing Johnny be good, Johnny go be lucky.
Yeah.
So this is a song, so I knew that was that. I knew I had to come to you because he's been around the last 2 or 3 days around me, and he keeps telling me about 30 as well, too. So I knew I had to come to you. I didn't know where or how.
So often with mediumship, when you're doing up here, you'll go to someone in the congregation and you'll have one thought in your mind, and that's it. And you're up here as a medium, you think, no, I want more, I want more. Eventually you learn that it's not going to work. Every single time is a leap of faith. And you'll go to someone and you think, oh, there's something there. But it's like, for example, look at the gentleman's come, I'm sure I've given you, yes, not next to you, it's definitely here and there. This is just a demonstration of how it takes place. I didn't know I was coming to you at all. But you immediately you look at someone, you get an image in your mind, and then you're working off the image. It's as simple as that is what it is. And as I'm looking at you, there's someone knocking on the door, and basically the person knocking on the door is a gentleman on the other side, and the knocking on the door basically is he's trying to get through to you, is what it is. You'd understand with this type of thing, the gentleman's drawing, when I say the gentleman's drawing closer, he's not drawing closer to me, I'm just sensing him a bit more as he draws closer to you. Do you understand with this type of thing? I mean, I've had a conversation with you. It's like you're open to this sort of thing, and you've listened to a lot of people, but the next step, he's saying you don't suffer fools gladly, do you?
Yeah, I'll go along with that.
Yeah, yes. And it's like you want to take the next step, but you've seen various things you don't like, haven't you? To do with this sort of thing.
Yeah, to be honest.
There's hesitation, if you see what I mean. So the image of knocking on the door, this gentleman's coming through. I don't know who he was. He's quite a strong character on the other side. Is this your father on the other side?
It's a possibility.
It's just that you would understand quite a strong gentleman, but also he's kind of had two sides to his personality. You understand the strict side of his personality.
Yeah.
But the other side of the personality was there, but it didn't come out very often, did it?
Yeah.
And to a degree, especially with his children, with you,
Yeah.
it's just how he was, is how it was.
Yeah.
But you would understand a good man, heart of
Yes,
gold.
absolutely.
Yeah. So he's coming through you with, it's kind of like fatherly. He's coming through to you, but at the same time, as imaging going like that, he's saying, I didn't get it all right, did I?
Well.
But he wouldn't have admitted it, would he?
I'm a parent, so I know.
Exactly. This is kind of how it's coming down the line, whatever. But the image, like I say, that's all you get sometimes. His image is knocking on the door. He's knocking on the door because he wants you now to knock on the door and do it. Is what he wants to do. It's a very simple message, but that's how clairvoyance works. Sometimes, literally, you go to someone, you've got one image, and that's it. And in the early stages of doing clairvoyance, you learn in a circle situation, and that's a shock sometimes that it actually starts working. But when you're suddenly put in front of a congregation to do it, it is so scary because you've got one thought in your mind, think, I can't do that, and it goes wrong, you give up for life, but that's what takes place. But the atmosphere in this church is now starting to change. Who am I with now?
Okay, I'll
Go. Yeah.
It's Tess, isn't it, that you were talking to earlier on?
Yes.
So your dad, I have to be honest with you, he wasn't really happy when Rob said he's going to go away, but he will come back. Because he was one of those sort of people, bless his heart, he's with us now, he's laughing, very low, laughing at the thought of that. Because he wasn't somebody that liked to be told how to behave. He had very good manners, he knew his right from his wrong, he was a very lovely man, but he didn't like to be told what to do. If he was doing something, he'd be one of those sorts of people. This wasn't what he did in life, but I'm just giving you an example. He's saying to me, he'd be one of those sorts of people that if he was walking, because he was going to tell Chris something really important, Chris is sitting in the front row, I've got something important to tell Chris, and then Rob cut him off at the pass and said, by the way, can you just go and tell Chris this? And he was in the process of going to do that, and it would just be like, I was just about to do that. I'll protest too much if I say to Rob, oh, for goodness sake, I was about to do that. It's that kind of thing. So but not in a bad way, but I'm hoping you understand what I'm trying to say. He was also a very private man, okay? So the fact that he's being sort of asked to come back and say something is like, okay, well, I will. Because what he wants to say is just that you're very like him in a lot of ways. He was exceptionally kind-hearted. He would give the shirt off his back, okay? But he was a no-nonsense as well. Absolutely no-nonsense. But what you saw was what you got with him. So he didn't ever pull the wool over anybody's eyes. He was always very honest and open. Okay, lovely, lovely man. He's very warm, very, very warm. And some people might not have seen him as that, but it's just because of how he maybe came across at times. But he was actually a great big teddy bear. What he's saying is, you're very good at telling people how you feel and putting your thoughts out there.
Okay.
Okay, I'm just going to say it. Just sometimes slightly rein it in.
Reel it in. Fair enough.
He's saying he doesn't want you to stop telling people what you think or anything like this. It's just, and it sounds like I'm being really rude. He's laughing. He's finding it really funny. He said, well, she wouldn't listen to me when she was young, and I was telling her, look, and I give her a look. But he's finding it very funny. He's just saying, sometimes there are things that you can say in other ways. That's all he's saying. But please don't think that he's trying to quash you. He's not trying to shove you into a jar and put a lid on it. He wants you to be you. He said he can never change who you are, and you'd never want to. There's so much love, and now he's laughing in this deep laugh. And he's saying, you know, she's my girl at the end of the day, and the love from him to you is just like, it's a great big chord, it's beautiful. But he's just saying, maybe just sometimes, because he was very good at thinking about what he said before he spoke.
Absolutely, yeah.
Only the very odd occasion when he got angry, which was very unusual for him, but if he was really passionate about stuff and something really angered him, he would stand, and he'd stand his corner anyway, and he'd fight for you and the family. Oh my goodness me, he was like, Danny Lion. But he's just saying, maybe just take a little bit of a step back. Not saying you can't say what you want to say, because very often you have very wise words to say. Just think about them before you say. But there's so much love.
And I couldn't give you that. I've known Tess for 30 years, and that message is correct. I can guarantee you that message. Yeah. But how were you sensing him? Was he over there? Was he here?
He
You're
was
picking
here.
it up,
He was
but-
stood next to me, because when he said he was going to come back, he really wasn't happy. That
Well, I
he told
couldn't
him what he
give
was
that
going to
message. That needed
that he
to-
told him it was going to do. Not because he doesn't like you, Rob, far from it, but he's
No,
just
no.
like, you know, oh gosh, okay, I'll hang around then. But he was somebody that actually would, you know, mark his time, and when the time was right, he'd say it. But
But
he
you're
just,
sensing
he was
him-
just
you're sensing him
stood next
here.
to me, yeah.
Yeah. And then
I
you-
can't physically, I
No,
can't
no,
physically
can't see
see
him.
him like I'm seeing you, but I can see him stood there, and he kind of crossed his arms, and he just bided his time, and his laugh was just, you know, kind of rumbled through him, and just the love, just an absolute feeling of love for Tess.
Yes. So this is what happens when you're a medium. Sometimes you sense a person next to it, and next to the person you're talking to, but often they're next to you. So when a medium say, oh, I can see this person, they're not seeing them with their physical eyes. You're sensing them next to them, and we would just say, oh, I can see someone here, because it's easier to say that than explain the whole situation.
Sometimes I
what's
can
going
kind
on.
of get a visual in my head, but it's very, you know, just all a kind of bit of a melding of stuff.
Yes. And it can vary all the time, because sometimes you'll have someone next to you and it is so easy to give the reading, it's not two. Other times there's one image and you're feeding off that image. They understand what you're talking about, but over a period of time they can draw closer. So it varies with every single one when you're doing these readings.
Can I also come to the lady we've just spoken to? Right. Your father.
You're getting it soon, there you go.
Right, he's still around you. He's giving me the impression of, although he presented himself one way, as we've said, to the world, he had this lovely Santa Claus feeling within him. And he's also, as he's showing me this, he's talking that in the last 2 weeks, either you've hit yourself with a hammer or something, you've knocked your hand something.
I remember.
Okay, something you went to do, but he can sense, or he's telling me, that there's this frustration about something that you haven't seemed to be able to get through.
Right.
You can understand
Yeah,
that?
yeah.
Right, you happy for me to continue,
Yes,
please?
absolutely.
Thank you. And as he's expressing this, I don't know whether I don't know. He's showing me that he was quite handy with his hands.
Yes.
Okay. And you are also quite handy with your hands, only you're not using them as much as he would like you to,
Right.
he's saying. But he's definitely showing that something, and it might, you know, as soon as you walk out or you wake up in the middle of the night, that was what it was.
Yeah.
Right. The sharpness of this gentleman's mind is second to none, and the apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
Right.
And he's saying, not telling you off, but he's saying about how he senses, will be polite, some procrastination around you.
Right.
Okay, and he's saying, just get on and do it.
Okay.
He goes, you know what to do. You're a lady who knows her own mind, knows where she's going, but he senses you hesitating around this at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
And he's saying, what's it going to get you, girl?
Fair
Okay.
enough. Fair enough.
And I feel that was how he would speak with you,
Yes.
because it was like a language that you and he shared that didn't at times always need words as well. You could do it. Because when the two of your heads were down, your mum just left you two to it.
Yeah. True.
I leave you with this love.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Chris, are you sensing people around you at the moment?
I've got, yeah, lots of people.
Lots of different people. You can sense Betty.
I haven't done, no.
Betty's with you. You understand you must be sensing Brian, right?
Yeah.
And Brian would have pushed you.
Yes.
Yeah. and he wants to push you again, and he's here with Betty to push you, because I understand, obviously you sit in my circle, that you've changed, you are changing, but Betty's here at the moment with Brian, and they're both saying you have no problem standing up here doing this, but you've just got to get on and do it. But I'm telling you this, but you know it anyway, don't you?
I won't believe it.
But you know it's going to happen, don't you?
Oh, at some point, yeah.
You've already taken a service.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it can happen with you. And it's like, Brian's just saying there's a few things around the garden, whatever, that aren't being done and you get frustrated with, don't you?
Yes, very.
And you always get to a point, you're getting frustrated with it, and then sometimes it's like, blah. And you just go and do something else, don't you? Yeah. And so he's just trying to show that he's around you. And you'd understand with the springtime, with himself, you'd understand on the one hand, he got excited with the springtime with the things growing, didn't he?
Mm.
And he got really frustrated with as he's saying, the blasted grass growing as well. It was like a combination of the two with him, which was moving on. And he's just here sending, and it's like, strange thing to say. You remember, you see, as a medium, it's quite difficult because you see an image, you want to pass something on that means nothing to me, and it's things like it means, it's completely obvious. Why am I saying this? You'd understand going for a walk and holding his hand.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. See, this is the thing with being a medium. You get something, you think, that's a stupid thing to say, but it can mean a lot to that person. You would understand that. So there's this image he's giving me. So I'm now seeing an image of you and of you walking, if you like, hand in hand to some beauty near your house. But he's saying the image leads to here, doing things here. I will hold your hand.
Okay.
And that's what he wants to leave with you. Drawing to then, quick ones.
Okay, so you've got anybody?
Right, can I go to Ken and Barbara, please? I have a lady drawing close. She gives me the feeling of mother. Very practical, very... words were important to this lady. She would want to say the correct word to express things, rather than use a whole flowery lot of words when you could say it with one word. Can you understand that, please?
Depends which mother you've got.
Right. Hopefully one of you do. Right. Can you understand
Have a look at her.
Sorry?
Have a look at her.
Right. She would always sit a particular way and would always be upright. Is how she's showing me. And you could always tell how she related to a person, how she would sit or present herself when they came into a room. She was very generous with her feelings and things, but if you knew that there were certain people that she would immediately close down to.
Yeah, it could be my mother,
Right, okay.
I think.
Right. Can you, because it's going to be a quick one, can you understand around you at the moment, I want to say in the house, maybe it could just be for one of you, but I feel it's in the house, where it's like you're hearing music, but the music and the words to what you know it should be are not what you're hearing. Or you think you've turned something off and the sound comes out.
I'm having a lot of trouble with Alexa. Normally, when you say to Alexa, stop, she stops.
She's not stopping at the
Alexa in
moment.
the kitchen
No.
has a mind of her own.
And she's going on to do something completely different to what she was doing previously.
Not particularly, but she just doesn't stop.
She doesn't stop. Right. They're trying to tell you something. Your mum and them, the other side, you've asked things, you've put things out there, they're trying to tell you something, and they're asking you to take time, take a step back and listen. Because sometimes we put our prayers out there, we put our thoughts out there, but we sometimes, your mum's saying is that sometimes what we get back isn't always what we want to hear. Okay, so if you could just be mindful of that, and she's around, because words were important and things getting them right, because there's something that's slightly akimbo. Nothing drastic or anything like that. There's just something, she's trying to tell you something back. Because the way I'm seeing it is like music on sheet music, and the words that should be there are completely different, and they're flying off in different directions.
Well, there's plenty of sheet music in my house.
I feel like that has been disturbed and moved in different places. Thank you. It's hers. She's tried to. She'll stop it. when
She'd
you
like
guys
it
go.
tidied up, I suspect.
Yes. She has been tidying up. She's been shifting it for you. May I leave her love with you?
Thank you.
So we're coming towards the end now. So, Alison, is this your father on the other side who was quite strict and quiet?
Yes.
And I don't think he's come through before, has he?
He has in a coffee morning, but not.
On a coffee morning. He's drawing close to you at the moment. It's almost like he didn't want to get left out, if you see what I mean, is what it was. And he's well, it's just a ridiculous thing. He did a lot, didn't he? He's coming through because did he do this and then do this?
What, busy?
Yeah, busy.
Yeah.
He's kind of into this and into this and whatever. And you don't. And his mind is absorbing things. You know,
Definitely.
he's like I need to understand that. I need to understand that. I got to understand that.
Yeah.
So he said when he first passed over, it was almost like torture because I understand all these things, but he wanted it all straight away. He wanted to understand everything. He can't understand everything straight away. Is how it's coming through. So that's who he was. We bring this to an end. But he's coming through because he wants to calm you down in your life, because you get het up over things. I'm not really asking you on that one. I'm actually telling you. Okay. But it's like the kettle calling the pot black with himself. Do you understand? Because his mind wanted to and your mind is like that, isn't it?
Yes, very
And
much
you
so.
want on the internet, and you it's got to work. Why isn't it? And then you want something else, and then you're onto something else. So he's saying when you get like that, he said, although I wasn't the best one to help you then, I am now. So he's just saying, think of him, and he'll help you in those situations. And he'll bring in this calmness, and whether you say you need it or not, you do, and he's going to bring it into you. And that's what he wants to come in.
Well, I've got one more of that.
Yeah, go for it.
Just for Chris. So it's just your sister, funnily enough. She said, A, why did you tell everyone it was my birthday tomorrow? Because Sarah would have told you. She said, B, really?
No.
And she said, honestly, she said, I don't want to be rude, Chris, but really? And then she said, she loves Christmas, but she can't understand why the decorations are still up. But she's sending lots of love, but I mean, you know, she's cheeky, but she just went, really?
Yeah.
But she does have feelings.
Right, we'll have to bring this to an end now. Thank you very much.